Hey guys, so today I'm going to start off and make a portable air tank which you can top up from your compressor and either use as a reserve tank on the compressor itself. It'll increase the capacity of the tank itself, or you can quickly disconnect it, carry it away and use it as a portable air source for pumping up toilets or whatever you need. And I'll just quickly go through the parts before I start getting into the actual process. Okay, so this is the parts here that I have. Now I've kind of gathered up some of them myself that I already had. I had to buy a few bits and pieces from the local plumbers merchants. And this whole system is based on the principle that the compressor I'm running, and I think most of them, run off a 1/4 inch system. So that's what I'm going to run off. Now what I'm going to be using is an old gas cylinder. And as I said, we'll be running off a 1/4 inch system, but the fittings on the gas cylinder themselves are 3/4 inch. So we need to reduce from 3/4 to 1/4. And the parts you need to do that, you will need 2 1/2 inch tees, need 5 1/2 inch female to female couplings, 1 1/2 inch male to male coupling. We also need 3 1/2 inch to 1/4 inch reducers. We need 1 1/4 inch nipple, 1 3/4 to 1/2 inch reducer. This is actually a gas fitting. It's a 1/4 inch or 8mm ball valve. Then we also have 2 PCL fittings. We have a male attachment and a quick connect female attachment. And lastly, here I have a pressure gauge. Now you can do without the pressure gauge, and if you're doing without that you can take out one of the T's and a couple of the other bits, but I'm going to go through it with this because I had one of these on hand. As I said, I also have a second hand gas barrel, and these have the 3/4 inch attachments. Okay, so next of all we'll move on to the process of getting it made. Okay, so as I said, I'm using an old butane gas cylinder here, and this has the 3/4 inch attachment here. Now obviously there'll still be gas residue in this, and the way to get rid of that, or the way I've done it in the past, is I get an old regulator from an old gas fire, and I just simply flip it open and leave it open overnight, you know, a few hours anyway, let it completely empty out. Once we have that done, then we can remove this, take this off, and then we need to remove this valve here, and that's the difficult part. The way I do that is, firstly I secure it up in a bench vise, and then the donkey work starts, which I'll show you now in a sec. It's secured in the vise here. I have the biggest Stilson wrench that I've got attached onto the valve, and basically there's 2 ways of doing it. One, you can either get a cheater bar that you can fit over the handle, give you an extra leverage, or the way I do it mostly is just get it on and use a mallet or a hammer or something like that, preferably a mallet, save you damaging your handle, and just tap away on it until you can get it loose. Slow is the key though. You don't want this thing flying off under pressure if there's any left in it. There you go. That's the collar closing gas connection. See it there? Basically scrap. So what that leaves us with then here is a 3/4 inch thread that we can start off the process with an adapter that fits in there. So that'll start the build going. First of all, before we do that, we need to make sure that this barrel is completely safe. And to do that, we need to take it out of the vise, take it outside and start running some water through it for a good amount of time. So here's the gas barrel, it's being filled with water. You can do it with a hose, whatever way is best. This is just handier for me. So basically what I normally do is let this fill up, let it overflow and keep pouring out for maybe 10 minutes. Then I'll turn it upside down, empty the whole thing out and do the same again. This way then you should be sure of getting rid of any gas residue and you won't have any nasty explosions. Not only that, when you're using it as an air tank, it kind of helps to remove the smell of the smell that they put into the butane when they're filling these bottles. So that's the safest way to do it. Okay, so that's all clear of gas and flushed out completely. Next thing I want to do is I want to remove one of these handles, because when you put the connection assembly on there, it's just going to be a bit fussy, so it's not that heavy. One handle is plenty. I'm just going to cut this off flush. Okay, so the next thing is I'm after removing the handle, just after sanding off the connection there, cleaning it all up. I'm going to prime it and paint it because I don't want it looking like an old used gas barrel. Once you paint it a different colour, it'll look like a proper compressor cylinder. So that's what's next. Okay, so that's a few coats of primer there, as you can see. I'm going to start giving it the first coat of red here now. So that's the tank ready there. It's had a few coats of primer and it's had a few coats of red paint there. So she's ready to go. All I need to do now is start putting the assembly together for the connections for linking up to the compressor. So to start that, we are going to start with, as I said, this is a 3/4 connection. I need to reduce it first to half. That's this reducer here. And to make sure you get an airtight seal, just wrap them all in PTFE tape as you put each connection on. Now initially when I gave you the parts list, I gave you some female to female 1/2 inch connections and also a 1/2 inch nipple, as they call it. It's a 1/2 inch male to male, and I was going to put that in to give me a bit of clearance on this, but actually I don't really need it and it's going to make it kind of fussy looking. So I'm going to do away with that and go straight onto a 1/2 inch T. Again, you wrap in PTFE. So you can get a better idea as it's coming up. Now, a half-inch tape. I'm going to be coming out to the side, and again I need a half-inch connection, female to female, a bushing. Half-inch to quarter-inch reducer, quarter-inch nipple, and the male PCL fitting, which links to the compressor directly. This is the last piece of the assembly. It's the pressure gauge. and that's it. Now some of the fittings may have to be tightened up as I get through it. So basically what's going to happen is you hook your compressor up here, it'll fill up the tank. As I said, this is a PCL check valve, quick coupler, so the air can't come out there anyway. Fill up the tank. Once it reaches about 115 psi, you can just shut off this valve here. That'll lock the air inside until I put the correct attachment into this PCL, and that'll allow me to use the air then that's in it. So we'll try that. Okay, so the main compressor has reached 115 psi and it's after shutting off itself. It has an automatic shut off. So theoretically, I think this is it's off. Okay, so when I hook this quick coupler up to this connection here, it should start to fill this automatically itself. So let's see what happens. Going away. Compressor should kick back in a couple of minutes. And as I can see, the pressure gauge is rising here. Compressor kicking back in, so it should come up to 115 psi. So as I said, there'll probably be a leak or two. I definitely have one. It's coming in here. But one of the safety features, as I said, when I want to use this, if I want to dump the air quickly, all I have to do is open this valve here. And that's it gone. Pressure gauge back to zero. So I know that I've got an air leak here in around here somewhere, so I'm going to take that apart again, redo it up a bit, and then I'll come back. Okay, so I'm after addressing those air leaks. I'm going to turn the compressor back on now and see if she'll come up to 115 psi on this, or it'll probably be a few psi off it, but there or thereabouts. There you go. It actually went to 120 psi on this one, and on the main compressor down here it's at 115, which is what it's set at. Now just checking again, as the pressure increased, you can feel I have a very small air leak in around here this time. It's there. So I can just undo that, but just to show you how useful it is, I now close off the valve, and that has sealed the air in there. I still have the air source in the compressor. And when I get the pump up the tyre, just hook that one up, and actually this is an old gun with a broken connection. That's where I took the pressure gauge off of. So basically all I need to do is tighten up that connection and she's set.